Oh god, what?
What the hell happened?
Hmm?
Everything is like,
All the resolution changed.
uh...
It changes all your scenes as well.
it does. Alright, well, let me rescale this shit. Professional.
The thing is, though, my memory is really fuzzy when it comes to DAO and Mass Effect 1.
Really?
I don't remember what happened in which Mass Effect. Like, all the Mass Effects bleed together for me because I played them all, like, right by each other.
I feel like you played them more recently than us.
Yeah, but I don't know, like, if this happened in Mass Effect 2 or 1 or something like that. You know, like, I don't remember which happened in what.
Okay. Does that look better, by the way? Is everything loading? Is it up? Is it good?
I'll refresh you if you want me to look.
Let's give it a second before we start spewing out
Mass
more.
Effect is a really good series, though.
Yeah, of course it is.
Russ, you need to play it, dude.
Probably.
You never
Like-
played it?
Yeah, Russ
No.
doesn't like Bioware games.
Last one I played was Jade Empire in 2005.
Oh dear.
Good Lord.
That's pretty much Mass Effect.
I didn't beat it though.
Oh.
Furthest I got in Dragon Age, like the whole story, I got to Lothering, or whatever it was.
Oh god, that's
Wow,
like
that's
really
like
early.
the very
Yeah.
beginning.
I know.
Yeah, nothing happened yet.
I was like,
Everything was
heist
boring,
and-
man.
So what about it exactly turned you off so much? Was it like the combat or the world or what?
I have no idea what it really was.
Really?
The combat's not so bad because it's like KOTOR, and I really like KOTOR, so. But I don't really know. I liked all the openings. Like I played every like character you could just to play the opening.
So you
Darth
played.
Noble's my favorite.
That's actually pretty funny. So you never actually went past Lothering, but you played all the intros.
Yeah, just because they were so different and unique.
Huh.
That's why I really like that part about it. But as to romancing a character, I've never done that in a Bioware game.
Really? How did you play Mass Effect? Oh, never mind.
I
That's
didn't play
right. But it's almost impossible not to. They just like throw themselves at you. Dragon Age 2 is the worst example of that. Good. You played 2, right, Cry?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Snake. This is not spoiling much, but wait, Snake. Actually, did you play the Awakening little mini expansion thing in Origins yet?
No, but I had it explained to me.
Okay, well, there's a mage in there named Anders, and he's like,
Yeah.
he's basically like the
Wait,
Alistair.
he was in Awakening?
Yeah, he
Yeah, he
was
was.
actually
Oh, I didn't realize.
when he was introduced, and he was basically like a mage Alistair. He was the comedy relief of the group, so he was not a bad character at all.
He's also homo.
Well, that's the thing. And two, not only is he a blatant homosexual, well, he's not homo, he's just bi, I guess. Because he just,
Yeah.
that's the thing, he hits on anything. Like, you could be like, we need to stop this threat, and he'll be like, I love you. And then
Stop with my dick.
you literally have to tell Anders to fuck off like 3 times before he stops like hitting on you. It's so ridiculous. They throw
He's
it in your
thirsty,
face.
man.
He's
He's
so
dehydrated.
thirsty. He's so thirsty. It's ridiculous. I think BioWare does that. They make it way too easy. Like you don't have to woo anybody. You just sit there and they just
I
throw
don't
themselves
know.
at you.
What about the elf guy with the 2-handed sword? What was his name?
Fainreal?
In Dragon Age 2.
Yeah, Fainreal.
Yeah, him. You had to work for him.
I'd never tried that because I was a male character.
Oh.
I'm guessing you did.
Yeah. Carry on.
God damn, no, please. I wanna
Just
know
saying,
how his
like,
romance went.
He takes some effort.
He does.
Like he's not as easygoing as some of your companions can be. So just so you know, you gotta be devoted to Fenris or.
Oh, Fenris, not
he's-
Fainreal. Fainreal's a different character in the game.
Yeah.
But oh, God,
But just know that not everyone is as easy as Anders.
I guess that's still a trend in Bioware games. I feel like it's too easy. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, Dragon Age. So let's see. Inquisition. Cry, you hate it. Why?
I don't understand why they did what they did with Angellans. I don't get it. It makes me feel like they were, like I said to you before, it makes me feel like they were trying to do an MMO, but then they saw how bad ESO went, so they were like, fuck that, quick, bail, 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 and then they went back to single player.
Well, isn't that exactly what they were doing, though? Wasn't that originally going to be an MMO?
Was it really? Because that's what I'm getting from all this.
I never heard that, actually. Is that true?
I've heard it from one source, but I haven't verified.
Huh. If that was
Well,
true,
that makes a
I could
lot
believe
of
that.
fucking sense if that's
Yeah.
the case. Because Hinterlands, it's a fucking MMO map. Everything there is an MMO quest and everything. All the stuff there is just stuff you would expect from an MMO. Go here, escort Druffy the Buffalo back to the ranch. Go here, do these racing courses. Go here, kill a bunch of bandits and clear the road, yada yada. It doesn't feel like Dragon Age to me. It feels like just these cheap little quests made to just increase the time you play the game, which is not something you want in a single player game, but in an MMO that makes sense because they want you to play because then you get more subscription fees and all that stuff. But in a single player game, that stuff has no purpose. And I've been trying to power through Hinterlands. I'm like 6 hours in, and I'm so fucking bored. It's so boring.
It has been said by many people, including the developers themselves, that you're not really supposed to complete everything there. You're supposed to leave.
But why did they put it in the first place?
It's supposed to act like a tutorial area.
Well, it's dumb area.
See, I kind of agree with Crymore. Like, I've had people, like, make the kind of argument, well, how are you bitching about more, just more quests and more content? Because it's not really content. It's just filler. That's all it is. It's not meant to, like, progress the story. It's pointless. There's no reason for it to be there. I would much rather have, like, a linear, or at least a somewhat linear experience like Origins, rather than have to collect, like, 10 ram pelts and all that bullshit. Like, just, that does not belong in a Dragon Age game at all.
I just don't like it. I mean, I'm sure, as I've been told, it gets better after the Hinterlands area.
It does. It definitely does. And that's the thing. Well, no, go ahead.
Like, is there actually, like, more, like, in the Hinterlands, I just got a bunch of, like, over-the-shoulder camera talking and stuff, like, with NPCs, and all my choices didn't really matter and stuff. Do you actually get choices later that matter?
Yeah,
like
of course. I mean, like, the story fleshes out a lot more. And that's the thing. If you were to just only do the main story quest, it would actually be a really good game. Like, it's... Like, the main story quests are actually really cool. There's, like, goddamn time travel and shit in there. It gets really, really cool. But the problem is those main story quests have, like, kind of requirements. Like, they say recommended level, like, blank to blank. And if you just do the story quests, you're not high enough level to get there. So you're forced to do the bullshit quests just as like just to waste time, basically, just so you can get to the next really cool story quest, which I think is
Guild Wars 2.
Pretty much. It is pretty much like Guild Wars 2, which that's I don't know. I really don't like that. I wish they just gave you more experience and had different types of rewards for the side quests, like, cool weapons and stuff like that. Not experience that's needed to progress the story.
Although, yeah, because, I mean, like, if you look at DA1, if you only did the main quest, you would still be able to get through it.
Yes.
DA2, I'm pretty sure you can. I'm not sure, though.
There wasn't much to do in Dragon Age 2. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's true. It was, yeah. I tried to play through the game like 4 times. I always stopped right after the deep roads.
Yeah, I got there once, and I was like, I think it's good for just a play it once, and then I don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the story is very important for Inquisition, so...
Yeah, I was told all the story from Feli Tomskin, so good artist, by the way.
From what I've seen of DA2 so far, and I've only played it for, 4 or 5 hours, I think. The way the story is handled compared to DAO is much more personal, and I personally like that.
Really?
Wait, which game?
DA2 compared to DAO.
Really?
I don't know.
Well, do you mean like personal in the sense of like it's just like your family and stuff as opposed to just you and some randos?
Well, not necessarily. The way the characters are handled feels much more personal. The story seems much more about character development and their stories. That said, I have yet to find or encounter any characters that I like more than the DAO cast.
I can see that.
Though. Like, I feel like if you do that and you focus, just personally on the characters and they're like, their petty squabbles and all that shit, then you actually start to lose the whole grand scale thing that I think Dragon Age Origins actually did well. So, I mean, I feel like in comparison, the things that happened in 2 are much less significant than the things that happened in 1. Like, I just don't care that much about them. That being said, Inquisition makes them important now, but still.
Yeah, I'm not saying that having a wide scope like DAO had is a bad thing at all. I'm saying that in terms of playing a character in a role-playing game, having that format, that personal format, at even just starting off, allows me to immerse myself in that world much more.
So you actually like the talking protagonists, where they just say, the whole Mass Effect chat wheel, all that stuff. You don't like the old school style, just press a number and that's what you say.
Whatever.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop in DAO.
So you didn't like that?
I did not.
Huh.
I found it very hard to get into. That's part of why I stopped my first time through. Another part is the combat. I hated the combat. But I also played Warrior starting off, so I might have.
What difficulty did you do?
I did normal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I did too. I think that was the... Because, yeah, I didn't dislike the combat in Origins. I actually kind of liked it more than in Dragon Age 2. I think in 2, everything is just too flashy. Everyone's flipping around and shit.
Not liking that. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Inquisition, like, it tones it down a little bit.
A little bit.
But then again, I'm playing as a mage, so it's hard to tell.
Well, the mages still do the little frilly dances and all that shit. I mean, it looks cool, but it's like, that's not a good combat style. You're just fucking dancing around. But,
important question. Snake, who was your love interest in DAO?
Morgan.
Yes.
I feel like that's the standard easy one to go with. Especially because of the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saves your life.
I didn't even realize.
Oh, really? Well, I guess, yeah. Well, how would you? That's the thing. I have not gotten far enough into Inquisition to see if Morgan matters, but I know she's in it, and I know there's a demon god baby somewhere. So
wait a second, Morgan's in?
Yeah, she's been in all like the preview screenshots and shit. She's definitely in there.
I don't know what
Inquisition
aside from like a gameplay trailer I saw a long time ago. So
yeah, I don't know in what manner or anything, but pretty much all the. Unfortunately, like in Inquisition, like they neglect a lot of the. They pretty much neglect everything you do in DAO because of the nature of your character, like how he can't talk, and he's, they can't have him show up again because he just can't talk. They would be a really stupid character. So, like they have... Oh, never mind. I don't want to spoil anything, but, yeah, never mind. I can't proceed because I'd have to spoil Inquisition, so never mind.
Damn.
I get what you mean, though. Is the hero of Ferelden at all referenced in Inquisition?
Very, like, just in codex entries and shit. Like, from what I've seen so far, no. Someone in chat just said Morgan's in Inquisition and she mentions the Warden if you romanced her. So I think, like, that's the most they can do. Just, like, a passing remark kind of thing. That's all you can do with that character.
Stupid.
Yeah. I
mean,
mean,
he was a big deal, too.
He was. He fucking saved the world, pretty much. That kind of pisses me off, but... I mean, I guess I'll say one thing. In Inquisition, I mean, this is not that surprising because of what happens in 2. But...
I haven't...
I know, but I'm saying this is not really a spoiler. It's just a character that's in 2 is in 3. That's all I'm saying. Can I proceed with that, or do they think that would be too much?
If you don't think it's too much, go ahead.
No, it's just, your Hawk is in Inquisition. And,
I knew that. Okay,
yeah. And, he's actually just like a normal character. Like, he talks to you, and it's weird because, like, you're viewing him from the outside, and, like, that's the character you were playing into, but he's just sort of like a Questgiver in Inquisition, and it's not as, like, epic as I thought it would be. He shows up, and I'm just like, oh, that's the guy I spent my time with. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
Guild Wars 2 did something similar with a handful of Guild Wars 1 characters.
How'd they do that?
They had certain characters pop up that were in NDA 2 as NPCs, or Guild Wars 2 as NPCs, and you could just talk to them, or they would give you quests, things like that.
Oh, that's it though. So yeah. I feel like that's the most you can do with that type of thing.
It's okay, they tried.
It kind of saddens me when that happens, though. because you have all of these memories of what you did with that character, and
Now they just stand there and talk about things.
yeah.
They're like an old man who's just past his prime. Amazon Prime.
God damn it. Well, like here, another example in Inquisition, Varrick is there like right from the very beginning, and you can talk to Varrick about, you know, Hawk and pretty much all the characters from Dragon Age 2 and stuff. But I mean, all it is, like, for everything you've done in the second game, all you get is one line saying what they're currently doing right now, and that's it. So I mean, it just sort of diminishes that kind of cool factor. I've always wanted to see like your character make like a huge return, but I guess it's hard to do that when, you know, the games are not linked, because somebody might have, you know, just started with Inquisition for some reason, and then they don't have a Hawk, and they just don't care about the character. So it's, I understand as a developer that's hard to do.
You know, what I found interesting was the fact that DA 2 and DA 3 both start off with that lady interrogating you.
That is true. She's actually apparently a very important character. I didn't realize. I thought she was just a random, like, you know, just somebody Varrick could talk to in Dragon Age 2 just to explain the story. But apparently she's like...
bugs the fuck out of me when she talks.
Yeah, I don't really like her voice. It's like some weird French, like... I don't know.
And some of her
like
facial expressions just... Ugh.
Yeah.
Like her lips are like... Her jaw. I think it's the jaw.
It's very picky.
Yeah, I guess so.
I like Liliana, though. She's dope.
She went through so many cosmetic changes.
I know. She got hot, though. It's good.
Yeah, but she got so hot I didn't know who it was. Like, even if they said her name was Liliana, it didn't register to me that it was Liliana.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
what?
she sounded the same too. It was the same voice actress, so.
It doesn't sound the same to me either, but it's just because the visuals were different.
I guess.
It was weird. And I don't like change. Whatever. Anyway, moving on.
Yes. Okay. So, this one is open to a lot of opinions and stuff. So basically, I just want to hear from you guys what you think makes a extremely good game, or what's like a memorable mechanic that, you know, has been in past games for like respective genres. So I think we're gonna start with let's just start with RPG. Let's just go easy. And Russ, I'll start with you. Like, what like RPG have you played that is like an example of like an amazing mechanic, or just like something that's memorable, and why was it like that?
Oh, I like stuff like Fallout 3 and Skyrim, where the open world is pretty much open to you from the get-go. Because, I mean, I remember growing up with, like, Final Fantasy, and only when the open world really opens up is after you've done a lot of the main storyline, and then you get your airship, and then it's pretty much all open for you. But having just the open world to you from the get-go has just been, I don't know, a lot better, because instead of going to Megaton from Fallout 3, you can just go where the fuck you want.
So you really like the freedom more than linearity?
Oh, definitely.
Okay,
I mean, another mechanic, I guess, from Fallout 3 is, like, the character creation, but I can't spend 3 hours on one character and then die within, like, 5 minutes. I can't stand that.
That's true. Snake.
See, I'm kind of the opposite. I'm not a fan of open world. I much prefer a narrative, like in, say, FF7. How everything sort of flows and all pieces together at the end. In terms of RPGs, well, it really depends on what type of RPG we're talking about.
I would say that you're right. I should have clarified further.
Go with Jay.
So
Yeah.
you're saying you like the storytelling rather than writing your own story?
Well, that's the thing. I never really... Like, I look at things like Skyrim. I've only played Skyrim briefly. But in Elder Scrolls games, it looks like... there's all of this background lore, and there's all of this stuff you can do, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really feel significant. Like, you can spend hundreds of hours doing everything, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really feel like it makes a difference.
Well, that's, I think, the nature of open world games. I mean, it's really hard to make it... I mean, you can't, like, you know... There's no credits. Like, the world has to keep going. So, I mean, I don't know. I kind of disagree. I think killing Alduin at the end, it's pretty goddamn, like, important, and it's really, really cool. But it doesn't have, like, it doesn't have the build-up because, you know, it's...
Or, like, the gravity of what you've done to the
Right.
world.
Right, yeah. That is something that annoys me about, like, Skyrim. You could be, like, the leader of every guild ever made, and people like fucking bandits will still just try to mug you and shit. Like, come on. That I really hate. But, yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm kind of like... It really depends on the game, because I do like a good linear story sometimes, but then a lot of times I just like, you know, like Russ, I just want to just go out and just go where the fuck I want and just explore. So it really, I guess, depends on my mood more than anything.
See, in that respect, I wouldn't really call it an RPG at that. Well, they are RPGs, things like Skyrim, but if I were going to play a sandbox game like that, I would want